It might help if I turn the mic on. Huh? Might help if I turn the mic on. It's usually it's a needed item when you want to go live. I'm sure. Uh, yeah. What it do? What it do? I'm Roy Ross, and we back again just for you. Hey. Wrong. But okay. That's besides the point. The MVP's already been picked. Man, that thing was picked before the playoffs even started. Uh, the playoffs aren't part of the decision in who becomes MVP. But man, Cowboys have been doing a little bit of coach hiring this week. Man, and I'm not, I'm not impressed with it, but I'm not really mad at it either. As much as I don't really care that they hired Brian Schottenheimer, that really isn't me trying to take a jab at him because I don't know what he's gonna bring. He could end up being very good for the team. I don't know. We'll have to see. But they've also brought in D-line coach Aaron Wittencott, which or White Cotton that I've never even heard of before. Um, I'm hoping that they bring in Duke Manyweather as the O line coach. That would be phenomenal. That is not a fact. That is something that I want. What up, Kyle? What up, Burge? What up, Didi? Yeah, we just popping on after the kids go to bed and stuff, or at least the two older kids. Falcons, what up? What up? What up? Appreciate everybody tuning in. But yeah, so just recently, the Cowboys have extended their pretend GM. Like Jerry Jones just needs to give him the GM title and sit back and let him cook. As in Will McClay, uh, manager of player personnel. Nah, we got Brandon Aubrey, brother. Why would we want that fool? Hey, Matt Uberflus really is not a bad defensive coordinator, Birds. Is he a great head coach? No, but if you go look at his defenses, he's never really been a problem as far as the defensive coordinator. Cowboys have already had him. We had Matt Eberflus before he went to Indy to be the DC there. Had a great defense in Indy before he went to Chicago to be the head coach over there, which he's probably not a good head coach. Chicago is also not a really good place to become a head coach. Good luck, Ben Johnson, because I don't think he's going to have the same success that he had in Detroit. Over there in Chicago, it's a little different unless they're going to change how they do everything. I don't know. His post conference wasn't very convincing. I wasn't sold on his post conference. I wasn't sold really on the Brian Schottenheimer post conference either. Yeah, it doesn't mean I want him. I also said Josh Allen was the MVP. Doesn't mean I want him. What up, Athena? What's good? What's good? Welcome, 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 everybody tuning in. But yeah, so they extended Will McClay. We've hired Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach. That's the biggest question mark. Matt Eberflus, I actually like that hire, honestly. I think that'll be a good hire for the defense. I know what he brings as far as the defensive coordinator. And when we had him in Dallas before under Scott Linehan running the defense, he was kind of like the person under Scott Linehan. Scott Linehan was a DC, but he kind of like appointed Matt Eberflus. He had some of the best years out of DeMarcus Ware, some of the best years out of Sean Lee, and so on and so forth. What's good? What's good? Didi, what's good? Best. So yeah, I mean, he had some of his best years. Those players had some of their best years under Matt Eberflus. And if you go look in Detroit, when he played was the DC over in Indianapolis. They had a great defense. There's not really a question in that. Even in Chicago, when he was the head coach, they still had a good defense, even though that wasn't his main focus. So I'm not worried about Matt Eberflus being the defensive coordinator. I actually do like that. Like I said, some people aren't meant to be head coaches. They do better at other positions. What's good, Queen? And what's good, Gavin? What's good? What do you like more, football or wrestling? Football. Welcome back, Gavin. Welcome back. Football, I at least still believe is real. I know wrestling's entertainment. Like I get it. So as I still enjoy and get enticed by it, um, football just hits different. Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? Kendrick Lamar, Athena. The referees at the end of the Super Bowl are going to rip off the zebra black and white. It's going to be a gold shirt with the Lombardi saying refs are the winners, and that's who's going to win the Super Bowl. The referees. And Kendrick Lamar with a little scissor on the side. What's good, Carnage? I said I still believe it's real. I said I still believe. I didn't say it was. You got to listen to how I worded it, Carnage. I didn't say it was because there's some conspiracies that, some of them make pretty good sense. So still on that grind? Of course. AEW is the same as WWE. It's absolutely the same. If you want to go and find some real actual fighting, like bare knuckle, like you have to go to like underground stuff that they don't sell on TV. Back when UFC first started, that was like bare knuckle boxing stuff. That was real. AEW, WWE, TNA, all of those are scripted. What up, C Bass Tyler? What's good? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, gang. Appreciate all y'all. So yeah, we extended Will McClay, and I'm happy about that because he's like the only good person on our staff in that aspect of things that I think can actually weigh in and have a persuasion that's going to be in a good manner for Jerry Jones. Everybody else that's influencing Jerry Jones is, to me, not very great influences. What, bye? What are you trying to do? Why are you pulling my shorts? What up, Mr. Beast? What's good with you? But yeah, so bringing them in, and like I said, I'm not impressed with the Brian Schottenheimer, Shoddy hire. Why do teams use fullbacks anymore? It's going to become more and more relevant, Queenan, as the running game is starting to take over. Really, the last couple of years, the running game has been what's taken over in the NFL. And fullback slash halfback slash tight end, they kind of play multiple roles. A lot of the tight ends kind of fill in that role as well. We got Hunter Lipke, who I think is actually a really good fullback. Given the opportunities, I think they just haven't given him enough opportunities. Oh, I believe, man, Carnage. I know. Do I not? I believe 100% that the NFL has outside influence that can weigh partial in how those games are called. I definitely do believe that there is some outside influence on how they call games and who they want to see where, because it's really the NFL pushing like a Disney fairy tale to us, and nobody really wants to see it. There's actually things going around about boycotting the Super Bowl. There's literally things going around talking about there's going to be a portion that boycott the Super Bowl. I call cap on that because what else are you going to do? You're going to watch the Super Bowl. Hate it, love it, whichever. You're still going to end up watching it. Even if you're not watching it, I bet it'll still be on the TV. So it's crazy. I believe football is real. I just believe that there is some outside influence that definitely can persuade how things are called in games. You're gonna go fishing? Hey, then go fishing, brother. Like I said, you're not the only one that's not happy with it. I'm in it for the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert and the buzz I'm gonna have throughout the rest of the game. Because that's gonna be my entertainment. It's gonna be a boring game otherwise. Do you think the NFL is rigged? I think it's influenced, top dog. I think there is outside influence that weighs heavy in how these games are called. So rigged could be the term. Um, I don't know. It's hard to describe. I believe with the way the betting is on it now, and the way way the owners and stuff is, I definitely believe there's some outside influence. The UFL, yeah, Dwayne the Rock Johnson owns it, so we'll see. I haven't watched any of the UFL yet, but I may start watching some of it. Eagles or Chiefs? You pick Eagles. I pick referees, Gavin. I pick the refs, or if I have to pick Kendrick Lamar. What up, Gardo? What it do? Chris, what's good? I do like Matt Eberflus, RDC. Yeah, I do like him. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have a stacked roster. Like they're built to win. It's just whether or not they're gonna do it. And then you got playoff Patty with Patty Magic and Flag Magic with some zebra stripe giddy up behind him. So I mean, that's what the Eagles are fighting. The refs is gonna be the battle. Exactly. It's the Eagles versus the KC refs. 100% top dog. Shout out to you. Uh, yeah, I mean, I like having the outdoor elements though about it. I like being able to see a rain during the football game, or I like being able to see a snow during the football game. That indoor football takes all of that away. Takes away all of the actual weather factor that plays a part in giving a team a competitive edge or not. Exactly, Carnage. I agree. I agree. That's why I say the Eagles are definitely going to have to play the refs. He very well might, Queen, and he very well might. But yeah, so it's just crazy. The things that got me the most about the Cowboys, though, I think the Bears issue with Ben Johnson. I don't know, Dylan. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's going to take more than 1 year to build a team. If they're not going to be able to build everything they need in 1 year. It's probably going to be impossible. That probably going to take a couple of years to actually get them where they want to be. They may have a good season next year. I'm not saying they won't, but I'm just saying it's very likely that the process they're about to go through is going to be a couple of years probably before it reaches its full potential. The goat beat Mahomes. Yeah, Joe Burrow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Tom Brady's definitely the goat. It would be Joe Burrow and Tom Brady. And you could say no, I think that's it. I think that's it. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, y'all may be there. Now, that may be possible. It depends on your schedule too, and how well those. Because every year there's a group of teams that are in the playoffs this year that just won't be a good team next year. Every year it happens like that. What up, Top Dog? What up, D1 Gardo? Welcome, Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen. He beat Mahomes, but not in the playoffs. It's crazy because that NFL stat where like Josh Allen is the only quarterback to ever lose to the same quarterback 4 times in the playoffs. That's kind of crazy. But I do like Josh Allen. Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are two of my favorite quarterbacks. I like Joe Burrow a little more. I think Joe Burrow would be great if he came to the Cowboys. But we got Dak, so I'm going to deal with that. Josh Allen is the son of Patrick Mahomes. He's a lot bigger than Patrick Mahomes. So what's good with y'all? What's good? What's up, chicken? Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Jalen Hurts. Whether he's good, not whatever people think, that's besides the point. I don't think he's a stud quarterback. But yeah, man, the Cowboys are really the topic of discussion. Ralph been taking pictures with Patrick Mahomes. Who's Ralph? But yeah. So I mean, what really got me with the Cowboys in the interview with or the post conference, I should say, of the Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones is. Let me actually pull it up here because I can play a part of it and let you hear the audio probably. Shoddy post conference. See what it comes up. Next year, every team should do an MVP. Well, like what? I mean, yeah, but then that takes. I mean, the MVP stat alone has already been diminished because it's a QB stat. Like it's very seldom does anybody other than a QB ever win that stat. So I mean, it's not the best. All right, so I'm gonna have to pull up Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, shoddy post conference. Here we go. All right, so I want to find the part where Stephen Jones, uh, like he literally wants to deny an apostrophe that the Cowboys are in a drought because he said that's why I want to pull it up so I don't misquote him. That was Cowboys coach press conference. All right, see if I can pull up the real thing. All right, so this should be it. Now I just gotta pull up the section of it. There, he likes the Jets. Carnage, you tripping? Nobody is a Giants fan. William is a Giants fan. We do have Giants fans in here. What up, Wyatt? What's good? What's good? Cowboys might get Nick the old 40. What do you mean, Nick? The old 49ers old coach. We've got Brian Schottenheimer, Matt Eberflus, and what was it? Aaron Whitecotton. Those are the three coaches that we've brought in so far: a D line, a defensive coordinator, and the head coach. And then we've rehired Will McClay as player personnel. Very nice. Just report the news. Barkley didn't do anything to deserve that MVP. Facts. That's why he won't get it. You don't have a foot. You don't have football. What up, Ben? What it do? Liam Cohen saying, dude, that was crazy. Duval. That was crazy. That's gonna be a meme, I'm sure. That's definitely gonna be a meme. All right, so now I got the post conference up. Let's find the spot where I think this is. One thing I did like to hear though is Jerry kind of admitted that he was wrong in a Jerry fashion. That is. Oh, I found it. I found the part. All right, so hold on. All right, so hold on. I'm gonna see if I can play this without my headphones in for a second.
It's just where can we,
Can you guys hear that?
has been our goal in the past. Where can we, in free agency, take care of some core needs so that when the draft comes, you are able to take the best player on the board. Not unlike we did with CD. We weren't necessarily in that draft looking for a receiver, but CD Williams so that when the draft comes, you are able
So yeah,
to take the best player on the board. Not
I do
unlike
miss
we did
Al
with CD.
Harris.
We weren't necessarily in that draft looking for a receiver.
What up, Shaylee?
CD Williams, CD Lamb sitting there.
Man, how he forget CD?
It's obvious,
He called
what
CD
you do
Lamb
there.
CD
And
Williams.
I think if
How
you
this
do
man
some
gonna
things
call
in free
CD Lamb?
agency,
C.D.
You know,
Williams for
like we've
one,
done in the
but that's
past,
not even the
really
part. The part's
take
coming up.
care of your roster before the
The
draft
part's
comes
coming up.
around. You have a much better chance. But certainly, you look at the blueprints. Everybody does it different. Kansas City's so that's the goal is to really do a good job with your draft, college free agency. That should be where your strong depth is. Obviously, this year we were counting on playing those guys right away,
Can y'all hear it?
and they had to jump right
What
in.
up,
And
Jeff Lee?
as
What
the
up,
injuries
Owen? What
came,
up,
more and more
Chris?
had to jump in. And but I think the bigger thing here is just where can we, which has been our goal in the past. Where can we,
Here it
in
comes.
free agency, take care of some core needs so that when the draft
Oh,
comes, you
that's
are
not even.
able to take the best player.
And that's not even the part. That's not even the part. All right, so well, what he says is he says the Cowboys. People talk about how the Cowboys are in this supposed 30-year drought. Like, no, Stephen Jones, we are literally in a 30-year drought. How are you denying the fact that we are in a 30? Put in quotations. That's pretty much a denial. That is a denial. Saying a 30-year drought. Like, what are you trying to say? That we're not in a 30-year drought? Then what do you call these last 30 years? Yes, we've had some competitive teams that have been competitive in spite of the front office. Like, in spite of the front office, the Cowboys teams have been competitive in recent years. In spite of the coaching, the Cowboys have been good and competitive in recent seasons. But we're still in a drought because we're not getting to the ultimate goal, which is at least a championship game. Like, forget a Super Bowl, at least a championship game. We haven't made it to a championship game in 30 years. Not even the Super Bowl. We ain't made it to the Final Four. So how is it not a drought? How are you quotationing a drought like it's a lie? That's not a lie. And then the other part that I did like was where Jerry Jones was like, well, where we might have messed up is in the previous years is the salary cap. Some people, we could do better. Could we do better? Yes, we could do better. So I'm taking that part as an actual admission of guilt in the fact that he knows that he has been poor at managing the salary cap. He has been poor when it comes to player contracts. We are paying top dollar for contracts because he waits too long. He waits too long, and by waiting too long, what he does is he separates the player from the team because then they go on and want to do a holdout. So that's just more detriment to the team because he's not getting that chemistry, especially around when we bring in new coaches and new systems. And this is with just any free agent that we know that we're going to bring back. And then when we bring them back at or above the price that they were already asking us. So if we're going to do that in the end, why not just do it early? Because we'll likely save millions of dollars on those contracts if we do them early instead of waiting to see, oh, yeah, he balled out. No, you see, he's starting to ball out. Pay his ass then. Don't wait until the season's over. Now we're almost into the next season, through off season. Like, come on. Through training camp, into preseason, and then now you're going to sign him after he's already done held out, missed all of training camp, missed all of the chemistry building that he could have had with the players. Because it ain't even if there's new coaches. If there's new players that are getting implemented into these systems as they come from college or free agency, um, building that chemistry with them, you need to build chemistry as a team, not just as like Dak and CD or or Dak and Rico or Dak and Tolbert. The offensive, they need to spend more time together as a whole. Offensive line, special players, as in the skill players, all of these positions need to be able to have a chemistry together to be so that way they, as when they're on the football team, they can play as a unit, as one. And that's part of things that we've been lacking. That's the culture that we've been lacking in Dallas because it's more of a show. Everything in Dallas is about a show. Like, how can we bring in more dollars? How can we bring in more viewers? How can we get them to buy more merch? How can we sell them hope this year? That's what it's always about. I mean, as far as Brian Shaw, oh, and what it do, T Mac. Sorry, brother. Sorry, I didn't properly announce as you came in. Jeff Lee, Chris Goins. Appreciate all y'all. Owen, Shaylee. Shout outs to all y'all. But yeah, as far as Marty Schottenheimer's son, Brian Schottenheimer, it's not that I'm mad at him or disappointed in him because we don't really know at the end of the day what he's going to do. I do think he's going to bring in a better running game. So there, I think that will be very beneficial to Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott needs a good running game and more skilled players on the offense so that they're not trying to make him carry the load. Uh, but to me, it's a comfort hire. Jerry Jones said that this was not a comfort hire, that this was a risky hire because he's never been a head coach before, no coaching experience. Teams hire that type of risk every year. The part of where it is not a risk and it is a comfort hire as you just let go of an entire coaching staff. When you let go of a coaching staff, that means that they weren't doing good enough for you to want to continue to bring them in. How are you going to go then and pick one of the people that were on that coaching staff that you just let go of and then now make them your head coach? If they weren't doing good enough previously, how is he going to change anything? Now, I get it. He's going to have certain things. He's going to have different play styles in the offense. He wants to marry the running game and the passing game, which sounds really good to me. I love that. He wants to make certain plays look the same, but have different turnouts. That I agree with. Those are things that I believe he should be doing. Those are things that I think the offense needs. I think they need more wrinkles. I think they need more pre-snap motions. I think we need to marry our run game and our passing game so that as we're doing plays, we are building other plays off of that. To me, that's what we should have been doing. Mike McCarthy didn't do that. He was not a big into having pre-snap motions. Mike McCarthy, as an analytics guy, like he says he is, but sorry, I was reading something that caught me up. But yeah, I do believe he very well be a Jerry puppet. Now, what kind of gave me a sliver of hope. Yeah, and I mean, and Dak's biggest problems aren't necessarily interceptions. He's actually not got a high interception rate. He actually's only had in 9 years. He's only had two bad seasons with interceptions. But I mean, that's besides the point. I think the problem is as a front runner team, when the team is getting behind and then not having the toughness and grittiness to be able to continue on the process of running the ball, passing the ball, and building off of each other, you get to become predictable. And now you're only passing it. And then the QB's clock, internal clock speeds up. And then they're making mistakes because they're trying to get things off too much and trying to press too hard. And then mistakes happen. When Dak was out in front or Dak had a running game, and you limit the amount of throws he makes, like yeah, the mistakes are going to be a lot more little. 24-hour time. What? I don't think he's an MVP candidate last year. No, I mean you Brandon, you don't have to think he was an MVP candidate. He was second in the running, and he actually had better stats than the person that won it. Like Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson's stats last year were mediocre compared to even what he's doing this year. And the only stat that he had more or better than Dak was the rushing yards. Everything else, touchdowns, interceptions, all of that, Dak had better. Passing yards, uh, all of that, Dak had better stats. No, yeah, he definitely was. Now this year he had a fallback year, and then he got hurt, and it made it hard on him. But yeah, I mean, Carnage, you and Beast going back and forth, crazy. You guys keep catching me. I keep catching a piece of it. But uh, but yeah. So I mean, the hope. I'm kind of getting myself scattered and off subject, but the hope that you did get to hear from Jerry and Steven was, it sounds like this year we're gonna look more into the free agency and not rely solely on the draft, as far as player acquisition, which will be needed. Now, will they bring in the proper players, and then what is Shoddy's scheme gonna look at? Because we those that are old enough, we all know what Marty Ball looked like. Marty Ball was tough, gritty, run the ball first, open up the passing lanes. Uh, I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson was a beast in it. So if we get our O lines shored up, we get another wide receiver. I think I would like us to go wide receiver first in the draft, because I think we could pick up another running back. Some of the Cowboy fans prefer to go Ashton Genty first. I just don't want to lose out on another star receiver to complement CD, especially one that can be married in the running game, because I think that there's running backs to be able to be had for sure in the second and third round. No, yeah, man, MVP is a QB gift, QB stat, and yeah, he hit 2,000 yards, but you can't even give all of that to Saquon. Like, that's obviously the Eagles having one of the best offensive lines in football. What up, Axel? What it do? What it do? I mean, it's no secret that the Philadelphia Eagles O line and D line are top two or top three in the NFL. Like, having that O line helped Barkley out. Like, he had gaping holes, so all he had to do was make a man miss in free space. So yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily wanting Scattaboo, because I think there's other players that are better than Scattaboo. Um, I have a list of running backs that I've previously mentioned in other streams that I would rather take. I would take either of the running back from Ohio State. I would take the running back from South Carolina, Gamecocks. I would take the running back from Penn State, from Tennessee. I have yet crazy carded. But yeah, Scattaboo should be available probably fourth, fifth round. Honestly, he might go as early as late third round. But yeah, like Nick Singleton's really good. Like, hold on, I'll read them all off. But yeah, I had Devin Neal, Dylan Simpson or Sampson, Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson. Obviously, Genty's up top. Nick Singleton, and then I had Quinshawn Junkins, Travion Henderson. Those are the two Ohio guys. Scattaboo, Ali Gordon, Taj Brooks, and TJ Sanders. Uh, so, I mean, I would really, knocking down pictures. I would really be happy. I would really be happy with any of those running backs. Here, let me see it so I can go fill it. So yeah, man, I would definitely be. I'm getting it, boy. Chill. Hey. Yeah, I'd be happy with any of those. They're all good. You got some of the Cowboys on the ones in the 50s. What? I think we have two of these pieces of meat. Yes, I said I'll fix it. All right, I said I'll fix it. I'll have to refind my video. Well. But yeah, I think that the wide receiver fall off. Dude, you need to use your words. It's not he. Use your words, buddy. Yeah, so like I was saying, I think the wide receiver fall off is going to be greater than the running back fall off because yeah, Genty's the top back. Like no one's questioning that. Would I like to have Genty on the team? Yes. But I think that the running backs that are going to be picked up in the third and second round after him are going to be very, very good, very serviceable backs in the NFL. What up, Diesel? What's good? What's good? Yeah, I got Caleb Johnson on my list. He's definitely one of the names on my list. I mean, I wouldn't put. I personally wouldn't put Scattaboo. He really had like one balling game. If you go watch his games against tough competition, Scattaboo doesn't do what he did in that last game. He is a good running back. I do like him. I think he's. I can tell you what I wrote down about Scattaboo when I was watching tape on him. What I wrote down about Scattaboo is that he's a powerful back that has very good explosion. He's good with catching the ball, but his vision is only decent. That sometimes he gets himself caught up trying to look for something bigger than what he needed to get, and he loses sight. But yeah, man, I definitely. Yeah, I think that the running back class is much deeper than the wide receiver class. So I would hate to lose out on someone like Luther Burden and not be able to pick him up in a later round or a wide receiver that's comparable. I mean, unless they're expecting Jonathan Mingo to like ball out next year, which I'm not. Uh, and he was a fourth round running back that for us he's a fourth round running back. For the Carolina Panthers, I think he was a number 2 second round pick. What up, Hartford? What's good? What's good? Welcome. Jalen season. What's good? What's good? But yeah, so I definitely. What? Yeah. Carnage. I hear you, bro. Don't let him catch you with Wicked in here or Walton Wicked. But yeah, uh, I just definitely think the Cowboys are trying to sell us hope. The truth will come when we get to free agency era, when we can actually start picking up players and start looking at who we're gonna lose for free agencies first. It's already rumored that the Redskins are already trying to poach another player from the Cowboys. They are trying to poach Odigizua, which is crazy because illegal tampering. Hopefully, they go ahead and do it. Cause the NFL to give us another pick. Please do. Give us the 12th pick. Keep bringing up our players in y'all's media. That'll help us get another free pick because y'all tampering. No, Hartford, we ain't ending right now. You're good, bro. But yeah, it's what they were just saying in the interviews though was absolutely crazy. Trying to play some of it here. I was trying to find the section.
To be with Mike as a consultant 3 years ago.
I'm gonna play a little bit.
I've seen it when I was a pup. For the future of my team and any of the teams.
in 35 years.
What up, David?
I
Was
don't
good,
think
was
I've ever
good. No,
visited with
the
a coach.
Redskins talking about wanting to get
But what in my
Odigizua from the
heart and mind,
Cowboys,
I wasn't
trying to
given an
poach
interview.
another player from the Cowboys to
I don't think I've
continue to
ever
build
had a
the
coach visit with
Redskins.
me that wasn't.
Trying to find
Coaching
certain
is
spots of
no,
this post
no,
conference.
no, and the makeup of coaches are no stranger to me. On my college team, within almost three.
We also got Jerry Jones here talking about how he wanted to become a coach. Like, that scares me. I wish Jerry Jones would have never have said that, because the last 4 weeks I've been saying, I'm just waiting for the news to come out that it's breaking news. Dallas Cowboys hire Jerry Jones as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I was scared of that news. I thought that might actually come. What happened? How did he get timed out for it? He trying to get y'all to stop. What up, Dom? What up, David? What up, Adolf? What's good? What's good? Adolf is crazy though. Johnny Sins. All right, that's what's up. You changed your name. Is it kind of like Curtis? Is that the name? That's what that profile picture and that name makes me think. Me think of Curtis. Not everybody in here knows who Curtis is. One person does, but they're not actually in the chat right now. They're probably actually in bed. No. No. I believe it's Curtis. Cool mustache. Carnage. But yeah, it's just. It's like you get the Cowboys owners to somewhat admit their wrongdoings, and then in the other words, like double down on that they weren't wrong, that they're the best. It's absolutely crazy. What up, Cowboys fan? What up, Jeff? What's good? What's good? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. You'd have to ask him. I'm trying to find certain spots of this.
After we won the national championship, every position, I wouldn't dare have had an interview unless I talked to many, Mara, are in our view. What's brought this players in here today? Guys like that.
What's that, Carnage? Still checking in South Carolina. Go Cowboys. Hey, yes, sir. I'm North Carolina Cowboy fan. What it do, brother? I appreciate you. Thank you for checking in with us. Appreciate it, man. Tap in with us. We have some phenomenal tailgates during football games. Super Bowl ain't gonna be no different. We also do a little WWE, but that's besides the point. We'll have the Pro Bowl live stream as well. Even though it probably won't be that entertaining. But that's besides the point. Hartford for being born. You crazy, Carnage. You got some of the weirdest stats, bro.
And I know that Shoddy is no stranger to these guys. I know stranger to this.
As defensive coordinator, I would have preferred, honestly, it to stay Mike Zimmer. I honestly would have preferred for the defense to stay Mike Zimmer. For this simple fact, this will be the third year in a row that the Cowboys have a different defensive coordinator. So the continuity in the defensive system that we're gonna use will have changed 3 times. The players got used to the system about week 7, week 8 last year, and they started to look better from that point, especially once we got Micah back. So they just really started getting good with that system. So I would have loved to have seen another off season and that system to be able to continue to grow, because I think it was growing towards something good. Defense was starting to look better. We still had a lot of players out that were hurt. As now we have Aaron Whitecott as our defensive line coach. Never heard of him. If anybody has, I know he's from the Jets, but if anybody else has heard of him, supposedly he's a fireball. Um, he'll get up in their face and everything. What up, Trent? What it do? What it do? Yes, there'll be a WWE stream Friday, Hartford. Would you prefer? So that is so yeah. So that would be my answer. Oh, what it do? What it do, Josh? Can I buy some hope? Hey, I guess your hope as a Saints fan is going to be all in Kellen Moore. It's looking more and more like y'all were going to have more and more likely to be Kellen Moore as your head coach. Yeah, I know, and that's the reason why he's not our defensive coordinator, because Mike Zimmer literally, in of the 10 head coaches of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike Zimmer has literally worked for 6 of them and been passed over for the head coaching role. So at this point, the rule what Brian Broaddus was saying that Mike Zimmer personally told him was that he's tired of it. He's tired of being passed over by the Cowboys for someone else when he deserves more of a chance at that role, being a head coach. Which I didn't want Mike Zimmer to be our head coach. I probably would have took him over Brian Schottenheimer, but at the same time, I wanted to keep him more at defensive coordinator. I just wanted him to continue cooking at defensive coordinator. He said it in his last post conference. Mike Zimmer admitted it in his post conference at the end of the season that they asked him, "What would you have done differently?" His answer remotely was he would have had less people been allowed to influence how his play style was. Yes, your phone. His play style, which in return means that the Cowboys front office told him, "Hey, well, this is what you got to work with, and this is what you're going to be allowed to do." So he did that. As the year went on, he started implementing more of what he wanted to do. He said that he regretted listening to that, and that he wished that he just did what he wanted to do out the gate and stopped listening to the influences of what he needed to do. So that tells you that the Cowboys front office was tampering with him there, or not tampering, but meddling with him there in the aspects of where he wanted to run certain things. He was only allowed and given the room to do so much. And he just wished that he was able to do what he wanted from the get go. And it would have probably looked different from the get go. What up, Steel? What up, M2? What it do? What it do? Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, so I mean, I would have rather had Mike Zimmer stay the defensive coordinator. But I do like Matt Eberflus. I definitely like Matt Eberflus as a defensive coordinator. To me, that's not a bad. To me, that's a good hire. Uh, it's the Brian Schottenheimer hire that's going to be the real question mark, because nobody knows. As he's got what 26 plus years in the NFL, or being around player personnel and coaching, and he's been a coach in some form since 2006. Um, all right, here, get up there. Put your blankie on you. There you go. All right. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not really got any issues with Matt Eberflus being the defensive coordinator. I think that'll work. We got Aaron White Cotton, which is the weirdest name. Aaron White Cotton as the D line coach that we picked up today. Buddy is threatening you. Yeah, threaten you with a timeout. I hear you. Do you think the Bears will be better than last time? I think the Bears are gonna have a rebuilding process. I think Ben Johnson may be able to be a good head coach, but Why was he scared of taking that role last year? And then this year, all of a sudden, he's not scared. Okay, I mean, we'll take that face value for what it is. That he questions himself. He was probably convinced with his inner circle probably convinced him to no, just go take the job, especially after the Lions lost to. I mean, it happened like this. Like they lost on a Sunday night. Monday morning, the Bears were announcing him as the head coach. It happened so quick. The opportunity for him to be the Bears head coach had already been presented the year before. He turned it down to stay in Detroit because he felt like he wasn't ready. He felt like he didn't have enough faith in himself to be able to control all the other tasks being the head coach is going to give you versus being just the offensive coordinator. But yeah, so I mean, I think Ben Johnson can have a good program over there. I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to actually build that group of people to be the way they want over there. But I hope Sean can prove us wrong. Hey, it very well might. JF, we know he's going to run the ball way more than Mike McCarthy did. We know what he said in the interview is he wants to marry the passing and the running game and make it all look the same. He wants to be able to do things like have a running play look a certain way and then be able to run that same play out, but it not be a running play, be able to make it look different or make it look the same but have different results. We can build off of one play. We can make one play build into multiple plays, which is what we should have been doing. What Mike McCarthy was against. Mike McCarthy was one of the lowest coaches on the ratings as far as having like pre-snap motions or being able to run in, or marrying his offense and defense. It was like Mike McCarthy picked plays out of a hat and lined them up. His plays were never to like tell a story. His plays never built off of each other, and they always seem to be the wrong play at the wrong time. So hopefully, in that aspect of things, uh, we might get better. We might get better on offense. I think that he can bring some elements to the table for our Cowboys that could help make us better. I think if we have a better running game, I think that's going to help Dak Prescott. I think that the Cowboys choose to rely on Dak Prescott way more than they should when all the star quarterbacks in the league have great players also to help them. Like, it's not a one man show. If he had, it's been proven when he has a hell of a good running game, the Cowboys win games. So help get the O line solidified, get another wide receiver to be on the opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and get a running back. That should really, and then make plays, running plays and passing plays look the same. So the defense is having to guess more because they don't know that play was this last time. Now they did this out of that. So I can't think that that's that because they're going to have to keep the defense more honest. All right, M2. What up, Jackson? What's good? What's good, brother? Welcome, welcome. Anybody else I missed? But yeah, so I think that Mike, I think that that Brian Schottenheimer can definitely make our offense be better than it has been. I think that we're not gonna look anything like we did last year on offense. But where Jerry comes out and says that this wasn't a comfort hire, where this was a risky hire, that this was a gamble to pick him because he had no coaching experience. Like coaches every year get picked that have no coaching experience. But the thing is, where the other teams actually make this gamble is they go and pick up a coach that wasn't on their roster the year before, that they didn't know personally the year before. That's what makes this a comfort pick, as this man was in our locker room the last 3 seasons. Welcome back, welcome back. Uh, he was in this locker room the last 3 seasons. We already know this guy. Have we seen what he can bring to the table as far as scheme and play style? No, that we haven't seen. But that's because Mike McCarthy didn't have enough trust in him to allow him to implement any of his style into the play calling. Mike McCarthy, he wanted to implement more into the play style and into the scheme. Mike McCarthy shut it down, which is crazy because we probably would have had some better games and some better seasons over the last years had we actually did some of those things that he's talking about. Now, talking about those things and executing those things are going to be what tells the difference here. Because yeah, we know Brian Schottenheimer knows football. We know he can talk football. He was Marty Schottenheimer's son. So talking football is something he's done his entire life. Um, but the problem is saying these things is easy. Implementing and executing these things into the actual personnel and getting the players to buy in behind you is completely different. So that's where we need to see how this goes. Now, from what we have seen, a lot of the players do seem to be backing Brian Schottenheimer. They all do seem to like Brian Schottenheimer a lot, which to me has a good side and a bad side because with them knowing Brian Schottenheimer and liking him and have helping him get the job, how is he going to then go and turn this organization around as far as being a disciplined organization? Um, because these players are going to look at him when they go to get disciplined for doing something that they ain't supposed to, or having multiple bad plays. When he goes to discipline them, they're going to look at him and be like, dude, we got you the job. Shut up. Go sit down. So, like, is he going to be able to actually lead these men? Uh, that's going to be a question that we're not going to know until football starts. Um, but it is exciting to know that the Cowboys are talking like that they are going to be more active in free agency, something they haven't been in prior years, really. So we'll have to see how much of a player they actually are going to be in this free agency. What up, Hartford? What it do, brother? What it do? You meant worse than Mike McCarthy? No, yeah, I don't think he'll be worse than Mike McCarthy because, like I said, man, Mike McCarthy literally picked his plays that were on his play sheet like out of a hat, like they were bingo numbers or something. He never built off of a play. Like, if you go listen to some of the good offensive gurus and offensive coordinators talk about football, they talk about marrying the offense and marrying the running game to the passing game, making it all look the same so that the defense can't be predicting everything you're doing, because what that's a problem with Mike McCarthy is all his plays became stale. They became predictable. And the defense at that point knew what we were doing. That's why when you watch the Cowboys football games over the last couple seasons, when they're playing offense, it seems like they're having to try way harder than any other offense you go to watch. I challenge you guys to go watch a Dallas Cowboys game or half of a Dallas Cowboys game. See how they play offensively. And then go and watch almost any other team for a half a game offensively. And tell me, does it not look like the Cowboys are having to try way harder than the other teams? These other teams are making it look way more effortless. They're making it look easy. And we shouldn't have to. We're fighting ourselves. What up, Amari? What up, Vidnap? What it do? What it do? Welcome in. Welcome in. I hear you, man. There's a lot of people talking about a boycott on the Super Bowl. I think it's really going to be boycotted? Probably not. I don't think that they're really going to boycott the Super Bowl. We'll have to see. Last year they had literally, I think it was 120 million people watching. We'll have to see what the ratings are this year. I do think that the ratings will fall because I do think, in general, people are bored with seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about a three-peat except for Chief fans and the Chiefs. Nobody. Nobody. No, I ain't heard nobody. The only people that care about the three-peat are Chief fans and the Chiefs themselves. Like, people are tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They literally have been in what, the last 4 out of the last 6 Super Bowls? It's crazy. Like, you got Rams, Tampa Bay, Eagles, 49ers. No, I think they're in 5 of like the last 6 or 7 Super Bowls. It's absolutely asinine. And New England's in there too. Like, they've literally been in like 6 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. It's absolutely crazy. I would much rather have Tom Brady playing next 2 Super Bowls instead of the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, I would too. Tom Brady actually made the Super Bowls entertaining when he was in it. Plenty of people hated the Patriots. Plenty of people hated the Patriots. But at the end of the day, the Patriots were always like a comeback story. At the end, they would be losing, and then Tom Brady would come marching back in and save them. All the Chiefs do is keep the game close, and then as long as Patty Mahomes can have it at the end, he'll win it. Which is where the AFC Championship went wrong because Patty Mahomes didn't end with the ball. Josh Allen did, and he just didn't get the job done. It's unfortunate. I do think that the refs played a big factor in that game, though, so it's hard to say. Boycott the refs. Man, I'm just going to have some can tipping action. It's going to be can tipping and watching a good Super Bowl halftime because otherwise the Super Bowl is not going to be that entertaining to me. I'm going to try to be the entertainment. I'm going to be hip hop freestyling, rapping all damn game long, trying to compete with Kendrick Lamar and the referees and SZA because those are going to be the stars of this upcoming Super Bowl. In what, 10 more days we got the Super Bowl? So, man, hey, name one bad call. Name one. Um, the play that they said wasn't caught by the Bills and was an interception, or wasn't an interception by the Bills, but was clearly an interception. That one, that one. How can you say that the one guy that has one barely has a hand on it, but the other guy that is holding the ball like this with both hands, but that other guy has possession? Come on now. And that ball damn near hit the ground. Also, there was another play where the Chiefs were clearly out of bounds. Clearly out of bounds. But they gave him the yards anyways. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is going to be the star of the show. For sure. Yeah, I know I'm about to be hopping off here too shortly. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in here, checking it out. We're gonna try to get some more live streams popping on. I'm gonna try to start making a live stream at least every other day, if not every day, even if it's not a full hour or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely I'm gonna try to continue to stream more and more to keep the content coming for you guys and to help us grow our community. But yeah, man, much love to all y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. Remember, treat everybody right, especially Carnage, Beast, and everybody else in the chat, because y'all never know what anybody's dealing with. So just treat everybody right, man. Peace out. One love.